USCIS doing a deeper dive on employment-based green card cases. Hi, I'm Jim Hacking, immigration lawyer practicing law throughout the United States out of our offices in St. Louis, San Diego, and Washington, D.C. Had a crazy exchange on the Immigration Answers show, which goes live on YouTube and Facebook several times a week, with someone named Munir who was telling us about his friend. So Munir's friend applied for an employment-based adjustment of status. So he's here in the United States, and he listed a job back home in Pakistan, and he claimed in his resume and everything that was submitted by the employer to USCIS that he had worked for this company back in Pakistan for a full 2 years. And according to Munir, USCIS asked the State Department to send someone over to that employer to verify whether or not this employee had in fact worked there for the 2 years. And it turns out they never heard of him. Now, this person's green card case is on the ropes, probably going to be denied, and he's probably going to either go to jail for immigration fraud or go to deportation land to get kicked out of the United States for having lied to the government about a job that he supposedly had, which he apparently did not. Now, this is an interesting case for several reasons. Number one, it's immigration fraud. So obviously we don't ever want to support anyone engaged in immigration fraud. We are happy to spread the message. And I think that sometimes USCIS and the State Department do things like this to send a message. And so I'm here to actually help them spread that message. If you are engaged in immigration fraud, you are part of the problem. You are making life hard on all immigrants. You are making USCIS's job harder, the State Department's job harder. You're taking limited resources by filing a false application for a green card. You're also penalizing people who actually have worked hard to be in a position to apply for a green card. So I'm happy to let all of you know what's going on so that you don't engage in such behavior. And if they make an example of this person, so be it. But the more interesting issue to me is the fact that now we know that USCIS is able to reach out to an embassy overseas and check people's employment history. Now, they probably are not doing this in every case, and it might even be part of the old let's find fraud behind every corner routine from the Trump people when they were in charge of USCIS. This might be legacy stuff, or there might be a real reason why this particular case was examined so carefully. So the fact that USCIS can reach out to the State Department and have them check things is interesting. We've seen it before in marriage-based cases, especially where there's a question about whether or not someone is legally divorced back in Nigeria or Ghana or some other country. So we have seen instances of USCIS and the State Department working together. This is the first time I've heard about it in the employment context. I'm sure it's happened many times before, but it was an interesting conversation because now we know that if you apply for an employment-based green card, you can expect some extra scrutiny. And more importantly, you can make sure that they're going to check your references. And this is really funny because right now I'm reading a great book on hiring called Top Grading, and it's all about checking people's references. So basically, the State Department was just doing what any good employer would do, and that is checking out this person's reference and seeing if they did in fact work there for 2 years. So mind sort of blown. I mean, we had a big discussion about it on the Immigration Answer show the other day, and this is something that I think people need to pay attention to. And obviously, immigration lawyers need to make sure that their clients understand what you can put in a resume and what you can't. And I think that this employer is probably going to be in a little bit of a pickle as well because, of course, they verified that this resume was accurate. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. It'll be interesting to see if this is a trend. If we hear of other cases or if you hear of other cases, please let us know. We'd love to analyze them and talk about them and sort of see what USCIS and the State Department are up to, how they're working in tandem to prevent people from getting immigration benefits. You know, I often complain that they have tricks or that they're playing unfairly, but on this one, I think I sort of have to tip my hat to them and say, if this guy's engaged in fraud, I'm glad you caught him, and that's the God's honest truth. So some people think you only use an immigration lawyer if you're filing a fake immigration case, sort of like a Better Call Saul for immigrants, but that's not the case. What we're about is filing strong cases to win. Right? That's what we want to do. So anything we can do to learn about the process, learn how the agencies work together, we're going to share that information with you so that you can make good decisions and, more importantly, not make bad decisions. Hope this makes sense. Hope you have a great day. So if you're thinking about hiring us, if you want to apply for an employment-based green card, or if you're going through any kind of immigration process and you say, man, I'd really like to work with Jim and his team, feel free to give us a call, 314-961-8200. Email us, info@hackingimmigrationlaw.com. If you're just looking for free information, totally cool. We have our YouTube channel, hundreds of YouTube videos where I give out a lot of knowledge about general immigration information, and we also go live 3 or 4 times a week with our Immigration Answer Show. We'd love to have you join us there. You can text the word SHOW to 314-470-3300. If you text the word SHOW, you'll get an alert whenever we're going to go live, and in fact, you'll get a speed pass to our waiting room so that you can get ahead of the line and ask me a question. We also have our Facebook group. That's called Immigrant Home. We'd love to have you join us there in Immigrant Home so that you can talk to other immigrants going through the process. While you're pulling your hair out, you have friends to commiserate with and to hear their successes. Lots of good stuff in there. So have a great day, and we'll see you next time.